Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another evening show, another late night show where we talk about all of the latest Chelsea news. We've got a few updates, a few things to catch up on as well that we didn't necessarily get to touch on as much as we would have liked on the lunch show when I was on with Lewis and Dan. But I'm here with Scott. Obviously, we were just talking, Scott, about the Inter game and the Barcelona game. You were telling me about some of the Barcelona players, and then you hear some of the names that we get linked with, and you think, "Oh, I wouldn't mind one or two of their players."
It's not even just about like wanting some of their players. It's the level of player they produce from their academy is insane. Like La Masia, they had a bit of a blip when I think Laporta, whatever his name was, the guy before this current president was running things, and they were a mess financially, but they're still the best academy in the world, and it's not a competition. Some of the players they've brought in, like obviously the obvious ones, Yamal and Pedri, are nuts, but it's like Rafinha this season, absolutely insane. You look at what they're like. I don't know if people watch the game. They played like in the second half. They played 4 centre backs across the back line. They had a Man City reject at right back who was excellent when he came on. They had Inigo Martinez at left back, excellent. The only negative for them in that whole game was Szczesny. Outside of they're nuts. They're insane. Like the final needs to be Barca PSG. It just needs to be. They're absolutely insane.
Hey, let us know what you think as well, guys. If anyone watched that game, I'd love to get Lewis on, but he's not going to come on.
He's on the pub.
What's that?
He's in the pub.
Oh, is he in the pub?
He's in the pub.
How did you know he was in the pub?
He posted in a group chat I'm in with him that he's in the pub. He was watching the Barca game in the pub.
Oh, fair enough. Lewis is out drinking. Fair play to him. Good evening to you as well. Woodshed, a big up to Jordan. Chelsea, before anything, says it should be us in the UEFA Champions League semi, not Asna. I think we'll talk about Arsenal here. Hopefully our travelling fans understand that the 1st of May is a crazy party night in the Nordic countries. Is it?
I don't know. That's not something I've heard of.
Why is that so? Why would the 1st of May be so important? What's going on there?
I don't know. I didn't know.
Please
that was
shed some light on that, Woodshedder. Mo says Tuchel wanted Anthony Gordon, Rafinha, Dembele. Maybe he was onto something. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he also wanted Sterling. So
and Aubameyang.
Well, so I mean, we've got to look at the bad and the good. We've got to look at both sides. I mean, Scott, let's dive straight into it. Let's look at some of the stuff that has been going on throughout the last few hours. Really, it's not been that long. This is a shirt that some of you may or may not have seen. This has been released out. One of our new away shirts with Damac on it, the new sponsor that we're going to be having. A property company based in Dubai. It's a short-term deal. It's a very short-term deal in terms of the front of shirt sponsorship. But if you look at it from the perspective of the global partnership in itself, there is a huge emphasis on long-term global partnerships. So when you look at it in that sense, this is not a sponsor that's just going to be around for a day or two. This is this is something that, the Mac is going to be around for a while, just not on the front of our shirts. So there was a really interesting article by the Daily Mail where they went through, what's going on with the Mac, and that we could potentially have 3 shirt sponsors in the next 4 months, because we've got Damac, that's the first one. They're looking to then get another front of shirt sponsor specifically for the Club World Cup, and there is interest apparently. And then another one for the Premier League, the start of the season after that. So really, really interesting. Maybe this was Chelsea's plan all along. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know. I haven't got a clue, but maybe the plan was to always utilize the Club World Cup and to try and get a specific sponsor for that competition in order to gain more revenue. I don't know. I mean, do you have any thoughts on it, Scott?
On I'll start with the second point first. I think if that is the plan, it's a stupid idea. Just because you've missed out on months and months and months and months of revenue by not having a shirt sponsor for the entirety of the season. If they do manage to get 3 or another sponsor for the Club World Cup and another sponsor for next season, that will be good. Like depending on the money it brings in, that'll be good. Obviously, the sponsor for next season is going to massively depend on where we finish, obviously, because of the other companies and sponsorships we've been linked with in the past. In terms of the Damac thing, like, if this actually leads somewhere after the sponsorship in terms of, like, a partnership with them, or because I'm looking on the Chelsea website trying to find out more information about going forward after the season, then cool. Like, there'll probably be some benefits to that. Just strictly from a sponsorship thing, it's just like, fair enough. Like, we're going to have a sponsorship for 6 games, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or 7 games, sorry, I think. 7 games into... Actually, no. It's not going to be... Is it going to be on the shirts tomorrow?
It's a month-long sponsorship. So
But
we've had 50 games without one. And what's that, mate?
Do you know if it's going to be on the kit tomorrow, I take it? I assume.
Yeah, it will be on the kit as far as I'm aware. If I'm not wrong, the ladies already played with it.
Let me have a look.
I'm pretty sure the ladies had it first. And yeah, I mean, like I was at the game against Everton, Scott, and I saw some people walking onto the pitch, and I was thinking, what's going on here? And they were taking a photo with a shirt, and I thought, okay, maybe this is like some sort of fan, like maybe you've got a corporate package where you're allowed to get a picture in the stands or whatever it is. But no, turns out it was Damac. It was Damac, and they were doing a little picture for the sponsorship. This is the picture that I'm talking about as well. This is the one that was taken. So look, it's a huge deal for them. You know, I am a little bit familiar with Dubai because my dad lives out there, and I was on the phone to him earlier, and he was saying to me, this is something that he reckons more companies in Dubai will end up doing, especially real estate, because Damac, they're a property developer. And one of the things they love in Dubai is basically taking big brands and using them to promote whatever it is in Dubai. And this is where this deal is really unique. I've never, ever seen a sponsorship, anything like this. The best way to understand it is to hear what Mike Keegan wrote about this, because he went into quite a lot of detail. It is some interesting information as well. So I'll just go through a little bit of that. It says, the Mail Sport understands talks are ongoing, which could see interested firms strike separate deals for the Club World Cup and next season. So obviously we've already got Damac now. We'll have a different sponsor for the Club World Cup and next season as well, if things go according to plan. Companies from a variety of different industries are involved in what has been described as a competitive process. The deal for the rest of the season, which features 4 Premier League matches and the remainder of the club's Europa Conference League, is with Damac Properties, who deal in luxury real estate. It will also see the company name on the shirts of the club's women's team. No financials have been publicly released, but the agreement can be described as healthy by those with knowledge of the situation. A £1 billion development from the company will be Chelsea branded, with the shirt sponsorship raising awareness of the project. Chelsea's brand will be woven into the fabric from concierge service to high performance spaces, a joint press release said. Damac Properties, this is like, honestly, Scott, you wouldn't believe it. Damac Properties will produce a first of its kind football themed branded residences in Dubai. According to a statement on the club's website, Chelsea's Residences by Damac is a unique project that will consist of more than 1,400 residential units, so 1,400, Each residence will have incredible seafront views along with access to the exclusive Chelsea branded amenities that place health, fitness, and well-being at the heart of its offering. It will reflect the very best of Chelsea Football Club in terms of high-end style, commitment to excellence, and vision for the future, the release added. While the shirt sponsorship deal is relatively short-term, Damac will then continue as Chelsea's official property development partner. Talks are ongoing over separate deals for the Club World Cup, which is to be held in the United States. Yeah. So there's a few things going on there. We've obviously been without a front of shirt sponsors since the 3-year deal of 3 came to an end. Obviously, we had Infinite Athlete last season, but that was again another last-minute deal that ended up happening. Is there anything else? Premier League regulations state clubs can only have one shirt sponsor during the course of a season. One change is permitted for a single match day in the season, however, so clubs can promote a charity partner. Special dispensation is also granted to clubs experiencing exceptional circumstances, such as financial difficulties, or if a sponsor fails to honour their contract. Jason Gannon, the Chelsea president and chief operating officer, said, Damac are world-renowned in building luxury properties, and we are thrilled to be working with an industry leader to bring the market to a first-of-its-kind branded Chelsea FC residence in Dubai. With the club located in the heart of London, the collaboration will bring Chelsea to life in Dubai, support our continued growth on the global stage. We can't wait to see Chelsea residences taking its place in the Dubai skyline. And just to finish off, Amira Sajwani, who's the managing director of sales and development of Damac Properties, added, this launch marks the first of an elite collection that celebrates not just the passion of Chelsea FC, but its enduring legacy, innovative spirit, and relentless pursuit of excellence. This initiative goes beyond celebrating the beautiful game. It sets a new benchmark for those who expect nothing less than the exceptional every single time. And yeah, I mean, it's so random, Scott. There's nothing that you can compare to this deal. It's a loophole. It's weird, isn't it? It's like another loophole. I don't really know. Have you ever heard of anything that you can compare to Damac?
I suppose the closest thing you can compare it to, and it's not really a comparison, it's more just a brand using both its name but also the name of the team they're taking over to create something. It's like what Jordan did with PSG, but that was just creating like their own Jordan kit for them, which is what we should be getting.
What do you mean Jordan and PSG? I
So
don't understand.
a couple of years ago, Jordan sponsored PSG, and I think their third kit was a Jordan design kit.
Okay.
Which is the same thing we were going to get if we actually finished in the goddamn Champions League. Actually, no, I tell a lie. If we'd finished in the Europa League, I think we would have got it last season. But never mind. These things happen. That'd been incredible. I'd have bought all of those shirts. But that's by the by. I don't think we have. I don't think we have had anything like this. I don't know how it's going to work. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what this means going forward. I don't know what this means from a financial point of view, revenue-wise from us, again, going forward outside the sponsorships. Honestly, at the moment, all I care about is how much money are they giving us for this sponsorship. It's ultimately all I really care about.
Yeah, I haven't released that yet. So
no, because outside of that, we know nothing else. Like, all of this sounds cool, and it's a lot of like PR stuff and like business stuff that ultimately you and I and most Chelsea fans don't really care about, ultimately. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Again, there's like the main thing for me here, I don't really care who sponsors us, as long as it's not some like really bad organization, like a really, really bad organization.
Like, are you talking about gambling or something?
Not necessarily gambling, but like just a completely abhorrent company that like you just don't want to be associated with, basically. Like, gambling is what it is. Like, I know some people have issues with that for religious reasons and other things. I don't personally, but whatever. I don't really mind who the sponsor is. It's not. It all depends on the money.
What do you think about this comment from Jenksy? He says, I don't see what's laughable here. It's a sponsor, for Christ's sake. It's not like sticking a Jordan logo is going to make us play better.
I don't really understand what he means.
I think that obviously, well, I don't know if this is you or the chat that he's responding to. Like, we're talking about the fact that we could have had Jordan or you know.
Yeah, I say
like,
there's
or people may be critical of the fact that why have we done a deal after 50 games and we couldn't get this done at the beginning of the season?
That I'm critical of. That I don't really understand why it took you so long. If you're meant to be these incredible, amazing businessmen, it took you an entire season to get a kit. Like, I think we're one of, as far as I can tell from doing research, we're one of only, this season, we are one of only 3 teams in a top 5 league to go into the start of the season without a sponsor. And I could be wrong. I think we're the last team in a top 5 league to get a shirt sponsor. That's a joke, just frankly. I don't care if we got Jordan, if we got Tesla, if we got OnlyFans, Amazon, anything. That's a joke. It took you an entire league season to get a sponsor. But yeah, I just don't understand the comment. Like, getting Jordan would have been huge for this club for multiple reasons. Number one, it's Jordan. It's one of the most recognizable brands in world football. Not in world football, in the world. Number two, from a purely kit perspective and in terms of aesthetically speaking, they would have been some of the best. Like, go and look at, like, you remember.
You've got some nice kits.
Did you see that black? The one everyone remembers is that all black kit. The first year they got Jordan.
The one when Neymar was there.
I think so. It was the first year they got Jordan as a sponsor. It was the all black kit. That kit is beautiful. And how many people bought that kit that didn't even support PSG, didn't give one single shit? They just bought it because it looked incredible because it was Jordan. I would have bought it if I had money at the time and if I had remembered to buy it. I'd probably bought it.
Fair.
If you get that same level of like people in America, people in like all over the world buying that kit, even if they don't care about Chelsea, if it just looks cool, they'll buy it because it looks cool. So you get more revenue that way. And then, like, again, it's if Jordan are trying to sponsor you, you're going to get a lot of revenue from that. I don't know exactly how much PSG got from the Jordan sponsorship, but that's like, again, that's not a small company. It's not no offense to these companies, but it's not an infinite athlete. It's not a, who else have we had sponsor us? It's not a 3. It's not Trivago. Like, it's a huge company.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think that maybe there's more to this than we have thought about. I think that there's got to be a financial benefit. They wouldn't have accepted it if there wasn't a financial benefit that could potentially have been better than accepting a deal. Because I don't think it's just about accepting a deal at the beginning of the season. I think it's how long the deal would have lasted and what you would have got. I think generally these contracts are about 3 years long, at least. And if we went 3 years on 25 million, that's a huge loss compared to 50. 75 million as opposed to 150. So I think that's the way they look at it. They're thinking, if we get Champions League, we're going to make way more money, and then we'll be able to sign one of those deals.
I agree. I think that's what has always been planned. I think we saw it with the Jordan thing. I think, was it Qatar Air or Riyadh Air? One of the two we were looking at getting a sponsorship. I think all the money that was quoted is we're looking for like a sponsorship that's 50 mil plus minimum a year, which to get that kind of deal, you have to be in the Champions League for, which is like, they're doing the right thing in that aspect. But there's a couple things. Number one is, and they've shown a complete inability to do this on the sporting side now as well as the business side, being able, say you get something wrong, like, or say something doesn't work out the way you want, being able to pivot away from that, they've shown a complete lack of ability. On the sporting side, especially on the football side, but evidently on the business side as well, up until now. And the other thing is, like, on the sporting side, having ideas of getting these 50 million, 60 million a year deals is cool and a good idea. You have to be in the Champions League to get them. You have made it, so this team has, like, it just keeps going back to it. If you'd done your business, how you were meant to do your business in the summer and in January, we could be talking right now about, oh, let's go in for the 60, 70 million pound sponsorship in next season because we've guaranteed Champions League. The fact we're 7 points behind Arsenal, and if we had a striker of Osimhen's level, or we had a centre-back of a level that wasn't crap, we'd be within touching distance of Arsenal, if not level on points. So, like, that it comes back to that again. Ultimately, so much of like the way this club is run is the football side, even though like the business side just links with it. But yeah, like I said, the whole Damac thing, I agree there's got to be some decent financial benefit, otherwise they wouldn't have signed on for this. And we've seen with the way they've run things. We don't know what that is yet. So it'll be interesting to see what that is. And then, yeah, like if the sponsorships we go of the Club World Cup and in the next season, they just need to be financially beneficial. Because as long as they are, then we can do all the things we need to do. Like we can't even afford to be doing these infinite athlete type deals where it's like 20 million, 25 million for a couple of seasons. Like we just can't afford to be doing that.
Let's move on to how do you say it, Scott?
What, the team?
Yeah.
Djurgården.
Djurgården. What a fucking name. I don't know. When you first read it, what did you honestly say?
Djurgården.
Djurgården.
No, I thought it was Djurgården because it's like in because it's Scandinavian and it's like they got weird names.
Yeah, Djurgården. That's a little bit easy. I'll take that. It's interesting because Djurgården have actually come out and they've made an official complaint. Well, they have been complaining, not about anything to do with Chelsea, but about their own stadium and their own pitch, which is an artificial surface rather than grass. One of their wingers, Tomac Nugan, said the ball just slides away from your foot all the time. In deciding situations when you have decided what to do, suddenly the ball has moved for no reason. We have told the club that something has to be done. Speaking about Djurgården's quarterfinal first leg defeat to Rapid Vienna before they turned things around in the second leg from home to reach the last four, August Priske, who's one of their strikers, also spoke about the pitch and his frustration. He said, "I don't want to blame the pitch, but it's a shitty pitch." So there's been plenty of criticism from that. The manager of Djurgården has said the stadium pitch feels different day to day. He said it's really tough for us and our opponents. We get nothing extra from it. So I've never encountered a situation where a team that play on that pitch regularly is so unhappy with the pitch and they're actually complaining publicly, consistently, to try and get it changed. I mean, that's obviously not something that will be changed. I think we're all aware of that. We are going to be playing on an artificial pitch. But, I mean, do you think that that's more of a problem for us than it is for them? Because, I mean, if they don't enjoy playing on it, but they play on it all the time, how the hell are we going to adapt to that kind of surface, especially playing the type of football we play, where if you make a mistake, it can cost you massively?
I think it depends. I think it depends how the players adapt, because I think that's going to what it comes down to. Because like it might feel a bit odd, like the first 5-10 minutes of the game, but if like you can adapt to it, you can get used to it, then I think we'll be fine. I'm looking at their last results, like they kind of do better away from home, to be honest. Like you mentioned that Rapid Vienna game, obviously they lost at home 1-0 and then went away and beat them 4-1. Obviously there was a red card in there as well, but beating 4-1 away from home, like the games they played in the league this season, they lost at home, won away, lost away, drew at home, and then won at home.
Yep.
So yeah, like I think it's going to be a test for both teams. Now we just got to play our game, like, and just show our quality, to be honest. Because like, I think we've kind of got to do in this game what we did against Legia Warsaw. We've got to kill it in the first game. Like if possible, obviously if they don't like playing on this pitch and they don't particularly find it easy to play on this pitch. I think us trying to kill it in this game is going to be beneficial because then when they come to the bridge, obviously I know that we're at home technically and it should be easier, but we saw how that worked against Legia Warsaw. They're going to be not more used to, but prefer to play on that pitch. We already see they're doing really well away from home. So yeah, I think this needs to be a game we kill in the first leg. You can't have another Copenhagen-like performance. Can't have another Legia Warsaw second leg type performance.
Oh God, no! That would just be honestly that was yeah. You can't have that. If we got to the final the same way we did against Warsaw, I honestly wouldn't feel confident that we'd win the competition.
Oh, I've already said on multiple streams, if we play how we have done in every game of the knockouts outside of the Legia Warsaw second half, really, in the first leg, like it was only 45 minutes. It wasn't even really 90, to be honest. Outside of that 45 minutes against Legia Warsaw in the first leg, if we play the same way we did in the second leg or the same way we did against Copenhagen, Betis beat us. If we face Betis, they will beat us. They're in better form than us. They actually have a semi-competent defence. I looked it up because I was having a conversation about this. They've only got like 2 or 3 less clean sheets in this competition than we do. They've got an inform attack, Anthony. They've got a new striker in January who started scoring. He was having good games, but wasn't really scoring. Isco's obviously on fire. They've beaten Real Madrid this season. So yeah, Fiorentina I would still back to beat because defensively I think they're a bit of a mess. But yeah, I think if we play Betis and still play the same way we've been playing in the Conference League, I mean, yeah, I think they'll beat us. But if we play how we did against Legia Warsaw in the second half of the first leg, I think we'll be fine. I think we will win the competition in whole. But yeah, like we just have to turn up. That's all that happens. They just have to turn up.
Interesting comment here. The Damac deal should bring additional revenue to the club if Chelsea getting a percentage of each property that's getting sold. That could be quite a lot of money, I guess. It'd be interesting to see what happens. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. This is a picture of the pitch as well, guys. The caption, which was made by Ben Jacobs. Plastic pitch tomorrow night. I mean, that just feels a bit weird to say it, that the fact that they're saying plastic pitch. We have to win there, by the way. Look in the background, Scott. Can you see what the arena's called?
No.
The 3 Arena.
Jesus Christ.
If we don't beat these boys... Nah.
That's a nice stadium, I can't lie. For a team
it's all right, doesn't it? Even though it is plastic. It's El Plastico, mate.
Yeah. You can tell with the way it looks. Like that looks like an AstroTurf.
Honestly... Yeah.
That looks like a 5G pitch that you used to play on.
How do the goalkeepers find that? That must be a harsh landing.
I have no idea.
That can't be a soft landing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Especially with it, like, I totally agree with this. Keep all injury-prone players away from this pitch. Don't let Lavi or anyone. Lavi is not in the squad.
Unfortunately, that's impossible.
James, no chance. Oh my God, I wouldn't play any of them. I wouldn't play Palmer. You're going to risk that?
Well, I wouldn't play Palmer anyway, but I mean, you're going to have to. Like, Neto is going to have to play unless you're going to play Sancho and Madueke. But Madueke is kind of injury prone as well. This season outside the one injury he got against Brighton, but he's kind of injury prone. Jackson's coming, but like we don't really have much of a choice. I'll be honest. Like you just got to hope the players don't get injured, don't do anything stupid, don't jar anything. Like, that's going to be the worst thing. It's not even necessarily going to be the like the muscle injuries, which is what we've actually been having a decent amount of this season, mainly more than anything. It's going to be those contact injuries, or like they jar a knee, maybe do their ligament, twist their ankle, or something like that. So yeah, like that's what I'm just hoping for. No injuries. Like a perfect game tomorrow is no injuries and like a 3-0 win.
That would be cushy, mate. I'd enjoy that. Interesting as well. Comment from Enzo Maresca. He was asked about basically the value of Chelsea. Chelsea are 44 times more valuable according to Transfer Market than Djurgården, and what was his thoughts on that? And he responded saying, "You're not going to win games or titles just because you spend big money. You have to spend big money, but in the right way. We are now in the Conference League semi-final. We are fighting in our league, and hopefully we can finish better in both competitions." I mean, I agree, but I disagree with what he said there. I think you will win games because you spend money, because even if you don't know how to spend that money, you will sign good players at some point, especially when you've played over $1 billion. It's one of those things where you keep throwing things, eventually something's going to stick. Palmer's a great example of that. That's basically been our transfer policy. But at the same time, yes, you've got to recruit the right ones. I mean, what do you think about what he said, Scott? Do you think he's just sort of playing mind games here, trying to,
No, I don't think so. Like, I think he's right in a sense, because like, because I've said this before. Like I've said this about just the Premier League and just football in general. Like, and I think not even us. I think United have been the prime example of that. You can't always just throw money at the situation and it will fix it. Like, if you spend money poorly, doesn't matter how much money you spend. We are an example of that as well. But like, you look at United and how much money they've put into their squad, and like how many players they've bought and how many have not worked, and like they have spent millions upon millions upon millions of pounds. So I think he's right. Like, you can't just spend big money and win titles and games and whatnot. Obviously, like you said, there will be games where you just kind of brute force your way through them if you have the better team. But that isn't always just like, you spending 100 million on a player doesn't always mean that player is going to be better than the 30 million pound player that he's playing against. Because it just depends on a lot of factors. But yeah, I kind of agree with him in that sense. But yeah, like, ultimately, like, I think I don't really take much note of what he says in this thing, because like, it's just win. Like, these games against Djurgården, against Legia Warsaw, Copenhagen, like, no disrespect, we should be winning comfortably.
Maresca also come out and said something else. He was asked about if it's a failure if Chelsea don't win the competition. He responded by saying, "For sure, I don't know if it's a failure or disappointed, but we are in the semi-finals and the next target is the final, and then we go for the title. It's a big title, a huge title, because it's a European title."
He's right. Outside the last comment, it is a failure, as is not finishing in the Champions League this season. Like,
he says, "I don't know if it's a failure." What does that mean?
I think he just means I don't know whether it like he's calling it a failure or a disappointment. Like, I think it's just semantics at the end of the day. But yeah, I think it's a massive failure. I will say I think not finishing in the Champions League is more of a failure than not winning the Conference League.
Agreed. Although, so you'd rather finish in the Champions League, not win the Conference League.
Because I think the only thing we don't there's two things we don't gain from Conference League, and both of them are like ego stuff. Like, you don't get to say we've won every European trophy. Woo. You can run that for about 2 weeks before it gets boring, or up until Arsenal fans start having some chat. And you basically will get bantered again for probably like a month, because you didn't win the Conference League. But again, if you get Champions League and you start the season well next season, no one really cares. Like, if you don't get Champions League, it's just embarrassing. Considering we were second in December, considering again the money that's been spent, considering all the nonsense, like, it's just an unmitigated failure.
I mean, looking at Djurgården as well, if you look at the Swedish league, the only team that I know in that league, except for Djurgården, who I've also... Oh, actually, no, I know two teams. It's AIK. They're the well-known one, aren't they?
No, Malmo's the well-known one. That's the one that...
AIK, is that a different one? Am I thinking of the Greek one?
You're thinking of AEK. Happens.
No. Jesus.
Yeah, to be fair, there are some well-known teams here. So I didn't realise. So Djurgården, by the way, is the team that Lucas Bergvall of Tottenham used to play for.
Okay.
Malmo is obviously Ibra's former team. The team he came through with. AIK is Isaac's former team.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's who he went to Dortmund from. But yeah, I had a little look at this, by the way, because I was kind of interested, because I know people talk about them being 11th. To be fair, the only teams they've lost to are Malmo in 4th and Hammersby in 3rd. So, and they're 5 games into their league season. So it's like...
Yeah, they haven't played many games. So it's beginning.
But yeah, but no, it's I think I've heard of one of their players, by the way. I looked at their team. I think I've heard of one of their players. Like
Who did you know?
Actually, let me see if it's the right player, because if it's not, then I know none of their players.
Okay.
I think it's their number 8. Yeah, I know one of their players. He used to play in Italy for a good few years. He's like 35. Outside of him, not a single player. Like, couldn't tell you any of these guys. Yeah, not Skeevy. Well, that might be his brother. But yeah, like we just need to win. And I think that, like I said, the comments that Enzo are making, I don't really take too. He's been pissing me off with his comments recently, but those ones I don't take too much note, because like when it comes to Conference League, it's just we know what it is. Like, we need to win this purely because we're in it, and it's like you can't. As much as what I said earlier is true in terms of the Champions League thing, you still can't lose the Conference League, really. Like that is kind of embarrassing. It's not as embarrassing as
it's extremely embarrassing.
It's extremely embarrassing, but like
losing, like people say the Mickey Mouse Cup is the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup has more weight than the Conference League.
No, I don't think it does.
It's a bigger achievement to win the Carabao Cup. It is.
It's not.
West Ham couldn't win the Carabao Cup. They won the Conference League.
You know, you get Conference League by winning the Carabao Cup, and you get Europa League by winning the Conference League.
Yeah, but I'd say that the Carabao Cup is a harder competition to win.
Yeah,
that carries more weight to me. Like, let's just look at God, I can't think of the run-in that Newcastle had, but you look at the teams that Newcastle beat in order to win that Carabao Cup. They beat us. They beat who else did they beat? They beat Liverpool, obviously, in the final. Who did they play in the semis? They beat Arsenal. Like, they beat some respectable teams, mate. And to win the Conference League, we have... Who did we beat? We beat
Copenhagen, Legia
Warsaw, Djurgården, and potentially Real Betis. I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't put that competition ahead of the Carabao Cup. I'm not saying like it's a bad achievement. Obviously, it's a great achievement if you can win it, and I will be celebrating massively. Of course, I will. But because it's a European trophy, I guess it carries more weight in that sense. But it's not a more respectable competition.
That's fair. Like it's viewing in terms of which is more respectful to win, I think is a fair conversation. I think in terms of like just which is better, I think it's better to win this than the Carabao Cup. Like I said, you just end up getting more for winning this than you do the Carabao Cup.
I guess you're talking about the rewards of winning the competition rather than
like obviously
getting there.
You automatically qualify for the Europa League. The Carabao Cup, you only automatically qualify for the Conference League. Jesus, can you imagine? So that's kind of more what I care about, because like ultimately the Europa Cup, and I got to explain what I mean here. I was gonna say I don't care. I do care, but it's like those are the two competitions where like you obviously want to win every trophy 100%, but it's also like that's never my focus at the start of the season. Like if we win the Carabao Cup, it's cool, like it's nice, but ultimately my focus is Champions, like getting to the Champions League, winning the league, winning the Champions League, winning the FA Cup is more prestigious. Like one of those things. Like obviously you want to win all titles, and I'm not saying I don't care in that sense, but it's like it's on my list of priorities across the season. Winning the Carabao Cup is comfortably bottom. I'll be honest, it's bottom of what I expected this football club, at least. Like obviously, if we're languishing in mid-table doing a Man United or doing what we did last season, then winning the Carabao Cup is massive. But
yeah, hey, let us know in the chat what competition do you think is harder to win? Which competition do you think carries more weight as well? I guess we're on the same page, Scott. Like we both agree, Carabao Cup's harder to win, but you get more from winning the Conference League. You are rewarded in the sense of obviously Europa League football. Right, we're going to do a squad builder. There is 2 players that I know are not coming, and Kunku is not going to be available. Robert Sanchez is not going to be available, but those 2 players are not well, Sanchez was never going to feature anyway. So I think we can all agree that we're going to see Jorgensen in goal. Who would you put at left back, Scott?
Who knows, man? Like, I don't want Cucurella to play again.
Gusto's injured.
Oh,
And then you got fucking James. You don't want him playing on that pitch.
Do you know what would be really good with right now? An actual left back if you've gone and signed one after you got rid of the backup in January.
Caleb Wiley could have been a shout.
No, he doesn't fit the system, unfortunately.
Wow.
But
Still a left back.
He's not really a left back. He's more of a wing back, unfortunately. And he doesn't invert at well. I think he has actually started inverting for Watford this season, but prior to that, he was not inverting at all. Cucurella's going to have to play. Like there is literally no one else, unless actually, you know what?
Baddy Shield?
No, I'm building this my way. I'm playing Samuel Smith. I don't care.
Huh?
I'm playing Samuel Smith. I don't care. Like Cucurella needs to get a rest, and the important game is on the weekend.
I'm not sure about that one, Scott. By the way, is this what you want or what you think?
Yeah, no, this is what I want. This is what I want.
Is what you want. Okay.
Yeah, what I think is happening is Cucurella is playing.
Is Samuel Smith even on this list?
Yeah, it's a double barrel surname. His name's Ishe Samuel Smith. There you
go. Samuel Smith. There you go. Okay. Centre backs, Baddy in there?
Yeah, I put Baddy Shield in there, and then I'd probably play. Bro, make the way this team's going to look is going to be just stupid. I just because of how this is going to work in my head, I would play. I'd play Tasker. I'd play Tosin.
Achimpong on the right.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, he has to be starting. Midfield kind of writes itself, I suppose.
Does it? I know KDH is in there.
Reece James. Like, there's no one. Like, unless you
want to put James in the midfield.
I don't want to put James in the midfield. Like, I want him to play. Like, well, he's not going to play against Liverpool. And actually, I don't think I want him to play against Liverpool. In all honesty, which sounds insane, but with the way
I thought Caicedo was so good inverting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So then James kind of has to play because you can't not play him because he's such a great player. It's like it's just such a weird situation. And then KDH is the other one.
You want KDH in the 10 or as an 8 or 6?
I said this is what I want. He's not going to do it. I would put KDH in the 10 and I'd put a Mugu in midfield.
Okay. Oh, this is heavy rotation.
Yeah, it's because I've got two things in mind with this. Actually, I'll build the team and then I'll explain it. Okay. I'd go. I'm trying to think of who played. I would go Sancho on the left.
Sancho on the left. By the way, we've got a Djurgården fan as well. Saying he also supports Chelsea.
Fair play.
Oh, fair. You know what? Fair enough. I do get that. To be fair, I do get that.
7 starting players injured.
7 starting players injured. Our new signings cannot play Conference League. We sold our best players earlier this year as well. Why? Why did you sell all your best players? Well, I'm waiting to hear the answer anyway. Let's keep going, Scott.
Yeah, I'd put Sancho on the left. I'd put George up front. And then I'd probably put... I'm trying to think who else we have that's fit. Like,
you wouldn't put Maresca up front? Put Sancho on the right, George on the left?
That's what I'm thinking, but it's like, I don't think Shim is ready. I don't want to go...
Serious heavy rotation. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's really heavy rotation, but I still want it to be strong enough. And like, I like Shim. You saw against Copenhagen, he is 17. He looks 17. Like, he plays like he's 17 in men's football. So I would play one of the two, Noni or Neto on the right wing. Like,
man. I don't think I could do that. Again, Neto and Noni are both players that we can't get injured right now. We just
No, I
don't-
know that's the problem. It's like we aren't then going an entire we're rotating an entire team, an entire 11. Which
who else do we even have available?
no one. Like if I had my druthers, like if he was fit, but I don't know when he's coming back, I'd put Hugh up front and then do what you said, like Sancho
Where's
on the right.
Nkunku when you need him to fill a loose spot?
Okay. Because the thing is, I don't want to. Well. I do not want to play Palmer. Actually, no. I'll tell you what I would do. I'd put George and Sancho on the wing, and I would play Jackson.
Say that again, mate.
I'd put George and Sancho on the wing. I don't really care which way round. And I would play Jackson up front.
Okay, so you're putting George there and Jackson up front, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I think George on the left, Sancho on the right.
Yeah, well, either way, like you can switch this around. But I think with Jackson, with him getting the goal, I think there's a potential he can get a couple more, potentially. Give him a bit of confidence. Obviously, that didn't work against Copenhagen, and that didn't work against Legia Warsaw. But yeah, give him a bit of confidence. Like, try and give him some more. It still gives George minutes, still gives like the rest minutes. We still get some rotation. And yeah, like I said, there are some players I just don't want to play. I don't want Neto or Madueke to play because I agree with you. I think they're way more important for Sunday. I don't want Cucurella to play for the same reasons. I don't want Palmer to play, not for the same reasons, but he's just been that bad. I want him to like just sit on the bench. Like, if I'll be honest, if Nkunku was fit, I wouldn't take Palmer. Full stop. I wouldn't even have him on the bench. Like, it's just stay in.
Well, Ren's saying, "What's going on with this team? It's a semi-final, guys." On an artificial.
Yeah, we also play Liverpool literally in a few days, which is the more important game.
It's true. And even if we were to have a bad result, I don't see any world in which we don't bring that back. Even if we lost, I think that we win at Stamford Bridge. And at least you have the confidence that you're playing on a proper pitch. Not that that should be the whole argument, but like we know how to play at Stamford Bridge. We'll win by more than 2 goals, surely. I mean, fuck.
We should do.
I mean, not if we play like how we did against Warsaw. Arguably, we could have gone out of the competition the way we played there because they should have scored 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, but I think I'm not gonna lie to you though. Like, and I hate to go back to this, but you look at the team we've built there and the amount of rotation we do. Imagine if we'd kept certain players or we'd made the right recruitment. Like, just think about it. We go and get a left back to replace Vega in the January window, even if it's only on loan. I mean, Samuel Smith doesn't have to play. Cucurella doesn't have to play. You have someone who can step in. Let's say you kept Leslie instead of sending him on loan to not play for half the season. You can put him there instead of Amugu. That's perfectly fine. I trust Leslie in that midfield. Or maybe, although I like Josh playing in this team and I think he's been good at right back, you move James to right back and you could put Leslie in midfield with a KDH. Let's say you'd kept not even a Felix. Like, let's say you just had a striker that wasn't Hugh. Jackson would be starting this game as the backup. So yeah, like this team, I look at this team and it's just like it's so much rotation and it looks really weak on paper, but it's just like this is the state our team is in at the moment because we have no one else in midfield. We have no one else in attack unless you want to play the starters, who I don't, either because they're that out of form or they're that important for us to play against Liverpool. And it's kind of the same with the back line. Like the centre backs, I think are interchangeable, and I really don't think it matters. Josh, I want to see play. Cucurella, like I said, I don't want him to get injured. Like he's played so much already. I want him to be fully fit for that battle against Salah on Sunday.
I'm with you. Well, that's what you want, Scott. What do you think will actually happen?
Cucurella at left back.
Okay, so we're going to change it now. Cucurella as a left back. Yep.
Dewsbury Hall instead of Amugu. Palmer in the 10. And that's probably it, to be honest, actually. It's probably just those 2 changes. Maybe...
Much stronger team, though, with those 2. You've got a real spine there.
Oh, 100%. Maybe one of Noni or Neto starting on the wing as well instead of George. I could see him doing that as well. I don't think he will, but I also could see him doing that.
Let us know, guys. Do you think that Scott's team that he built earlier, without Cucurella and Palmer, sticking a Muga in the midfield, and what's his name, Smith, Samuel Smith as well at left back? Do you think that's strong enough, or do you think we're going to have to go with that stronger team, Palmer and Cucurella being in there as well? Even though it is a semi-final, guys, you've got to appreciate the opponent we're playing and the circumstance that we've got in the Premier League. So where's a priority? I think there's any. I think that a lot of people would understand if we would rotate heavily, but that's that's all up to the individual. We're going to move on as well, Scott. We're going to just touch on the Chelsea women's as well. They are the WSL champions again, with what's her name, Samuel Bompasta, the French manager, taking over as the manager, winning at the league in her first season in charge.
Yeah, like it's just keeping up the norm of what's gone on with Chelsea over the recent time. Chelsea women's, I should say. Well done to them. Obviously, kind of makes up for the embarrassment that was the other night.
Like the Barcelona game.
Yeah, that I didn't watch the game. I saw the result. I was like, oh my god, 8-2. I think what was it on aggregate? Jesus, that was bad. But yeah, like fair play to them. Congrats. It just I can't lie. It just continues to baffle me how the men's and women's team are treated, because the women's team is exactly how we should be treating the men. You know, you lose a top coach in I can't remember our former coach's name. What was the former women's coach?
It's gone out of my head as well.
Chat, help me out.
That is so bad.
That's so bad. Why can't I remember?
Say the name. Emma Hayes.
Thank you. How on earth did I forget? Yeah, look, obviously losing Emma Hayes is tough. You go and replace her with Sonia Bonpastor, who did she win the Champions League last year with Lyon, or has won the Champions League as a manager with Lyon?
She's probably the next. She was the next best thing that we could have had. I mean, the other manager that I would have put in that conversation would have been England's manager, but I don't think she's available.
Obviously. No, the other one I would have put in is the guy who left Barca. Evidently, they didn't miss him.
The bloke. Is he a bloke, was he?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I think he's gone to manage in America. But he would have been really good as well. But yeah, like she would have been top. She's top 3 managers, I think, in women's football.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're like, it's the equivalent of us, like when we lost Tuchel, going to get Ancelotti at the time, or I don't know, trying to think who else was like a Simeone or something like that. You obviously lose out on, or you go and get her. You go and smash your transfer budget on one of the best centre backs in the world, who isn't starting at the moment. I don't think starting against Barcelona because she isn't fully fit or something. Like I think since these guys have been here, they've smashed the transfer record twice for the women's team, both like to good effect.
They've been successful with those signings.
Yeah, 100%. You went and improved in terms of getting Lucy Bronze, Kira Walsh. Like they went and did so well with the recruitment and done so much good for that women's team. And then you look at what they've done for the men's team, and it's just like chalk and cheese. Like it's completely different. Outside of the Caicedo signing, which you can say is a big signing they've done that's been incredible, there's nothing else you can really say that they've done so far in terms of signings and in terms of squad building, in terms of manager selection, anything is anywhere close. And so I'm just so baffled. But like I said, congrats to the women and like what they've done.
Hey,
was it 8 in a row or something? Or 8 titles or something? I saw.
We're getting close to double digits, Scott. We're not far away. We're not far away either. Hey, we're on a good run, and that is one thing you have to say. We've managed our women's team very well. I don't know why we've not taken it. Well, I know exactly why we haven't taken a similar approach with the men. It's because the priority is just different, isn't it? But each to their own. Guys, we've got over 80 of you in the building. We've got just over 30 likes. Let's get up to 50 likes on the video. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Smash that like button. Press the thumbs up. Doesn't cost anything. Helps a lot. Shows us that you're enjoying the content. And we appreciate it. We do appreciate the love. If it is love. Doesn't have to be love. the support, whatever you want to call it. Scott, just to finish off, I've got another little bit of transfer news for you. Chelsea are leading the race to sign the Lorient midfielder, FC Lorient midfielder Arthur Avon this summer, who was born in 2004. He's a rising star in French football. We are competing or looking at him alongside Aston Villa and West Ham, with our scouts apparently regularly attending his games. He is, according to sources, the next Yaya Toure. He's not even playing in Ligue 1. He's playing in League 2. Fucking hell, Ligue 2. For those of you who speak French. They want to tie him down to a long-term deal, but his contract is expiring this summer. So, he's not in a rush to extend his contract there, but understandable when you've got clubs like Chelsea sniffing around. They have a strategic partnership with Bournemouth and believe that he can make a move there instead. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so I don't know if you've ever seen this guy play. I've never heard of him. Show you a picture as well. I'll just share my screen as well. Never heard of this guy. This has come out via The Sun. Probably one of the least reliable sources that you could think of, to be fair. But who knows? Maybe there's some truth to
it. Cool. Why? Sure. Just this club of midfielders, man. Fucking hell. I have this weird fetish for midfielders. I swear to God.
Well, I mean, do you know anything about him? I've never heard of the guy.
Not a Scooby. I never heard of him. Never heard of him. Haven't watched a single League 2 game. Obviously, I've barely watched any League 1 this season.
League 2. Doesn't that just sound weird when you say
it? This is the second player, by the way.
Fucking duh.
To be fair, it doesn't surprise me we've been looking at him. This is the second player from Lorient we've been looking at this season. We were looking at their striker, who I believe is going to Bournemouth because of that partnership that you mentioned next season. But yeah, just cool. Do you know how many midfielders we have bought since Clear Lake have became our owners?
How many what?
Midfielders.
Do you want me to guess? Oh, let me have a guess. Let's have a guess.
When I say midfielders, by the way, I'm talking all midfielders. So number 10, number 8s, number 6s.
Okay. Not wingers, not included.
Not wingers.
Okay. Since they came in, since Clear Lake took over, we had big first summer. Fucking hell. We signed a lot of players, got a lot of young players as well. How many windows have we had? 5, 6, 7?
Hang on. Summer, January. 6. But we didn't sign any players in 2 of those windows.
I'm going to say 22.
Oh, you guessed more than I was expecting. It's 16 midfielders.
Still a lot, though, isn't it? I mean, I was sort of going for a high ballpark range rather than going low.
16 midfielders we have bought since these guys are coming. That's across 4 windows. That includes Asugo, by the way.
Seems a bit pointless that he's even with the Chelsea squad. The guy never plays. I guess he gets to train with us, if that means anything. I think the best training is just experience on the pitch, though, isn't it? Might as well just loan him back to Saint Etienne.
Oh, you mean Amugu? Oh, no. That includes Amugu and Asugo, I said. So it's obviously the guy we've got coming in the summer. That includes him.
No, I'm talking about Amugu. That I'm saying.
I know about Amugu. Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Never plays for us.
It was a waste of time.
How many goalkeepers have we signed?
Oh, I don't know.
11?
Slonina. So Slonina, Jorgensen, Penders, Petrovic, Sanchez, 5. I think we've only signed 5 goalkeepers.
That's it?
Yeah, the thing is, we didn't. When we, the difference is we had a lot of keepers already here. It's like when people say, oh, we got so many keepers, yeah, but we had Bergstrom was still here, Bettinelli was still here, Kepa was obviously here already. We just had a few already, from previous years. Whereas midfielders, yeah, we bought 16 and it's a joke. we play 3 midfielders and we've bought 16. Like, work that out. Work that maths out. Yeah, like that's how I feel about this. Like, at what point do we just stop? I don't believe this for it anyway. I don't think we sign him. Obviously, it's his son, but like, at what point do you just stop with these midfielders?
Hey,
well, the joke thing is we might need to buy another one because we might need another 10 to back up Palmer if we sell both the Chuckle brothers in the summer. So,
bro, who's the second Chuckle brother? Oh, and Kunku and Dewsbury Hall.
No, okay, well, no, I was thinking Felix and Nkunku.
Oh,
if you go as well, then yeah, we definitely need another 10. So I'll have to buy a 17th midfielder.
And get Chucky back in there. Get Chucky. I want Chukwuemeka in there. That's what I'm looking for. Bring back Chucky. Free Chucky. Free my boy.
No, it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess.
Smash the like button, guys. Okay. We've got over 8 of you in the building. Let's get up to as many likes as we can. We're going to wrap it up there, Scott. Listen, mate, always appreciate you jumping on. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate everyone else that's been watching, whether you've been watching for the whole show or you tuned in later. Always appreciate you guys watching and any support as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Smash the like button. If you want to support the channel in another way, you can by joining Chelsea Fan TV as a member. That is also another option that you can look at if you wanted to. All the best, guys, and we will catch up very, very soon. And